Hello, everyone. Today, or I guess tonight, we will be eating ramen. I had nothing to put in here, so it's just plain ramen. This is the brand that we are eating. I hope you can hear me okay because it is nighttime and I can't really talk too loud. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about my channel because it has been a while since I have uploaded content, and this was completely unplanned, but I still wanted to talk about it. So, the first kind of bit of housekeeping is that I have not, and really, this is the main reason why I haven't been uploading, is because I have been experiencing absolute soul crushing anxiety about content creation. Give me 1 second, I gotta eat this. You know, I always wanted to try like mukbang content because of Stephanie Sue, but it's very awkward, especially when you're doing a live stream of it and I can't cut anything out. So I'm just eating in silence. I hope you're eating with me, right? So it stops being so awkward. But um yeah, I've been experiencing absolute soul crushing anxiety because of not only AI and what that means for creatives and people like me who upload content and whose face is for public viewing, essentially. I have just also been experiencing anxiety about the new content regulation rules that YouTube has. And it's not necessarily content regulation, at least not yet, but it definitely will turn into content regulation if we do not stop what YouTube is currently doing. And if you guys are not aware, if you guys don't know what YouTube is doing, if you're in the United States, you might already know. If you're in the UK, you might already know. If you're in Canada, you might already know. If you're in Australia, you might already know. But YouTube is implementing an AI verification thing. And that is to verify people's ages. And it has, after I learned about that, I have just kind of been living as if nothing's happening, right? Like just going through life with just soul crushing anxiety is the best way that I can word that. And yeah, it's especially tough because I know that if this AI age verification thing works, we're gonna go down like the slipperiest slope we've ever seen to where I fear that my content, the content that I want to create, the content that I'm drawn to, will be kind of one of the first types of content to be censored. And so I have been having to deal with one of the first types of content to be censored. And so I have been having to deal with that and having to kind of think about the ramifications of that and think about what that means for my future and how else I can put this creative energy to use. You know what I mean? Um, guys, it's very awkward to eat on camera. I'm so sorry. But there are things that you can do to stop this AI age verification and make sure that it does not work as well as YouTube wants it to work. Because I'm not joking when I say we're gonna go down just an awful, awful time for the internet. Like, the internet will truly die, and I'm not even exaggerating, if this ends up working in Google's favor. So the first thing I want you to remember is to please never ever verify your age. Just, oh well, not gonna watch the videos that I wanted to watch. You don't have to verify your age. Please do not verify your age if you get prompted to do so. And if your favorite creators are uploading elsewhere, I would move elsewhere to see um, that kind of content, right? I don't know how this will affect like things like channel memberships and things like Patreon, because oftentimes, like me, for example, I use YouTube to upload onto my Patreon. So, and that's one of the things that I've been thinking about is how am I going to move my content? Because at first I was thinking, oh, I'll just use Patreon. But then I realized, no, I still have to use YouTube because I upload my videos on YouTube, make them private, but then copy the link onto my Patreon. So even if I have a free tier, I'm still going to have to find another video hosting platform. And that's another thing that I was telling my friend too, is that just leaving the platform altogether is not going to do much. It's like when somebody says, oh, well, that's fine if the US goes to shit, basically, because I can just move out of here, right? Because a lot of people cannot afford to move out. A lot of people cannot afford to move to another country. So those people, the vulnerable population, will be stuck in a pretty shit country, right? Same thing with YouTube. There's a lot of people who rely on YouTube, and not just for money, but like for learning. A lot of teachers, a lot of libraries, they use YouTube. And also, if we don't stop this while it's still in its infancy, other internet places will adopt that same kind of practice, and then we won't have anywhere to go on the internet. Like, the internet will die. That's what I'm saying. Like, the internet will die if this thing goes through. So that's why I wanted to get on here and talk about that and kind of share that anxiety that I have been dealing with and share it with you guys and have something tangible for you to do. Which, again, the easiest thing would be to just not verify your age. The other very easy thing that you can do is to boycott it, but unfortunately, with boycotts, it has to be very organized. And unfortunately, with boycotts, since it's only happening in the United States, a lot of other countries are not going to participate in the boycott. I mean, we can barely get an organized enough boycott in the United States. It's going to be really hard to do a boycott outside of the United States. Um, and the thing with boycotts is that they have to be organized in order to work, right? And they can't just be for a couple of days. They can't just be for, whatever. So, because it's really hard to organize a countrywide, let alone worldwide boycott, YouTube is still going to have users log into YouTube at whatever time they want to log in, right? So it's not going to affect their pockets too much if just the United States or just a few people in the United States boycott. And that's another thing that I was kind of telling my friend is that's why we have to fight, because a lot of people are not going to boycott, and that's why we have to find other solutions. And the other very tangible thing that you can do and very important thing that you should do is make noise about it and talk about it. Excuse me. I emailed press@youtube.com, and I emailed them with why I think this AI age verification should not go through. Um, and I also signed a petition, and I'm, talking about it with you guys and telling you guys that I disagree with the AI age verification thing. And there's many reasons why I disagree with it. Number one, and most important, is that it's not going to make children safer. In fact, it's going to do the opposite. And that's the reason why they're saying they're going to do AI age verification, but um, I don't think they necessarily care about children's safety, because if they cared about children's safety, they would make YouTube Kids a lot safer, and they just don't do that. Like, YouTube Kids should be a safe app, but a lot of parents have said YouTube.com, not YouTube Kids, just YouTube itself is safer for my child than YouTube Kids. That is how bad YouTube Kids has gotten. And so, if they really cared about kids' safety, they would invest in YouTube Kids and make it a truly kid friendly platform. Unfortunately, as we have seen, that is not the case. So, yeah, I don't believe that they're doing this because they care about children's safety, and also this AI age verification will just affect kids even more. Oh my god, my phone went off and I was trying to find it, but I don't have it on me. It's over there. But yeah, so this thing will not help kids at all, like in the slightest. And also it'll just, like I said, lead down a very slippery slope of censorship, and people will be blocked off from viewing very educational content, which is why I brought up teachers and libraries, because teachers and libraries use YouTube's free, accessible educational content to teach kids. My math teacher did it with the quadratic formula. I had a very good time learning with her, and she still, would teach us, but sometimes it's nice to have that extra kind of bit of a boost when you're teaching classrooms and classrooms full of kids, right? And especially if you're a high school teacher, you're going to be teaching math 1, math 2, calculus, AP math. And so it's just nice to sometimes have that break and be like, okay, I'm not going to teach today. You guys just watch this YouTube video, right? But especially if everything gets censored and everything gets marked as not kid friendly, then, I thought I heard somebody coming down the stairs. If somebody comes down the stairs, I'm gonna have to mute this. Hopefully, I can mute it. Let me try. I can mute it. Okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about this. And again, hopefully you can hear me because it is nighttime and I can't really talk loudly and I don't have my microphone because this is a pretty impromptu live stream. But let me take another bite of this because then it's gonna get cold and then I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it as much. Maybe I will, I don't know. Okay, so that is the biggest reason why I have not been uploading content, okay? Soul crushing, like I feel frozen with anxiety. My anxiety has never been this bad. Or at least not since, I got off antidepressants. When I was on antidepressants, it wasn't that bad, but since I've gotten off antidepressants, it has never been this bad. I think I worded that wrong. Because, before when I wasn't on antidepressants, my anxiety would get this bad. And so, yeah, since I got off antidepressants, my anxiety has not been this bad. Whereas I think you guys get the point. But anyway, the second reason why I have been gone so long, and you guys will probably anticipate this answer, is because I have been working on my video essay. And you guys, it has taken me since February to do this goddamn video essay. It is so, but I'm nearing the end. Also, hello to whoever just joined. I am eating as I'm talking. Oh, they left. Never mind. Um, oh wait, hi. I hope you enjoy this live stream. But anyway, the video essay has taken me a very long time to do because of just the quantity of information that I have to research. And I will talk about it on my Patreon. I will do a vlog detailing all of the things that I did to be able to complete the video essay. But essentially, I had to go back and re-watch many, many things over and over and over again to be able to compile at least somewhat correct data. And it's not it's not exhaustive, okay? But I cannot make it be exhaustive. I physically cannot make it be exhaustive. I have rewatched that piece of media so many freaking times that I physically, when I think about watching it for my own enjoyment, I cannot, because then I feel like the only thing that I'm going to pay attention to is the issues, right? The glaring mistakes, and then I feel like I'm going to go crazy because I'm going to be thinking, oh my god, I forgot to totally talk about this, and then I'm going to go back to my notes, right? And then I'm going to be like, wait, did I talk about this in my notes already, right? So it's just been very stressful. And I actually, wanted to take this kind of month off to be able to focus on the video essay, but then my anxiety really got to me, and I have not been able to work on my video essay. I finally got the data compiled though, so I have the data. I no longer need to rewatch that piece of media to get the data. I have the data. It has been compiled. There is a graph talking about the data. I hope it has not been deleted because apparently Google Docs is deleting stuff off of their. And this is what I mean. This AI age verification thing is going to destroy the internet as we know it, right? Which would suck because the internet is a vast and free library, and there are very bad things on the internet, but there also are very useful things on the internet that many people rely on, right? So, um, that's the second reason why I have not been uploading stuff, is because of my video essay, and I had to take an entire week just to compile the data. And I say entire week because I was going through my notes and I was realizing I completely missed rewatching this, because I put in my notes, right, like when I was first typing them up, because I would handwrite them first and then type them up. So when I was typing them up, I would notice gaps in my handwritten notes. So then I would put in my typed out notes, make sure you come back to this. And then I never went back to that. So as I was compiling the data, I had to go back and rewatch it for, I'm not kidding you, the fifth time. Might be more actually. But yeah, so that that was time consuming to say the least. Um and it was also just like, I think I got over 1,000 pieces of data collected to put into that graph. So, but thankfully the graph has been completed. The data has been compiled, the graph has been completed, okay? Okay, and finally, third reason why I've been inactive is because not only did I go on vacation, but I also got injured on vacation. Actually, before I went on vacation, I got injured before I went on vacation. I'm pretty sure it was carpal tunnel on my left wrist. And so I wasn't able to edit anything. I had a video ready to edit, but I wasn't able to edit because when you're editing, you do a lot of side to side movements, and which that really hurt to do. And I had to buy a wrist brace while we were on vacation because the pain was kind of unbearable. But I wanted to at least get some of my notes typed up on vacation. So, and also typing, you just really do this, right? Um, and yeah, so but with editing, it's a lot of side to side movements, which I wasn't able to tolerate. So that's why I have not uploaded a podcast episode, but hopefully tomorrow or Saturday, I sit down and I film a brand new podcast episode, because I have been wanting to talk about this subject for, excuse me, for quite some time. It is a subject that is developing as we speak. I was supposed to do kind of an emergency upload kind of situation, but then more things came out, and so then I was thinking, like, I'm just gonna wait until this kind of slows down, comes to a little sizzle. It's not boiling, it's just sizzling a little bit, so that I can talk about it and get all of my facts. And I'm actually really glad I waited, because if I had filmed that, like, emergency upload kind of thing, like, we need to talk about this right now, I would have had a completely different opinion, and probably an opinion that came from a lack of empathy and from a lack of understanding, right? And so I actually filmed kind of a we need to talk about this right now. This needs to be talked about right now, immediately. But I ended up deleting that because it was coming from a place of a lack of empathy, right? I wasn't necessarily being understanding, and I knew that I was gonna regret it if I uploaded it like that, so I ended up deleting it. And also, it was over 4 hours long of just me filming, so I was like, okay, this definitely, I need to redo this. So I'm going to film it within the next coming days and hopefully have it up by next week. Pinky promise. I pinky promise that's gonna happen. And then I'm also now gathering more ideas for more. Oh, and I still have that one episode that I still haven't edited yet. So um maybe not back on schedule because I still have to type up the script of my video essay and film it and edit it and then edit the Patreon exclusive and film the Patreon exclusive ones. But you guys, we're getting there, okay? Um, Also, I've learned something about myself throughout all of this. So hopefully, um, I mean, you guys will be seeing a part two to a podcast episode that I did recently. So that'll be really exciting. But anyway, I realized I did not eat so much on this live stream, but I had a lot to talk about and I had a lot to get off my chest. I am a big yapper, okay? I have certified yapper in my profile picture, like my profile banner, and in my description. So, yeah, I missed talking, and hopefully, a fire reignites my creativity. And hopefully, I am able to, do what I need to do. Because genuinely, I do love talking about these things, and not talking about like these things that we talked about right now, because that is very anxiety inducing, but I do love talking about things that I find interesting, and I do love sharing my opinions with you guys. However, you know, my anxiety is pretty intense. And obviously, there's more than just anxiety, which I will talk about in a part two to my podcast episode. Because yeah, it's it's a lot to talk about and a lot to think about also. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited to be back and to survive. Hopefully survive this, and hopefully we do not go down that slippery slope. So when this live stream ends, I'm going to link the petition that you guys can sign, and I'm also going to uh, add the email that you can email YouTube about the AI age verification thing. And please remember, please do not verify your age, okay? I don't care if you really want to watch whatever video you want to watch, but you cannot verify your age. Don't do it. That is what they would want, right? They would want people to verify their age. It will be very risky for you to verify your age because YouTube accounts are so easily hacked into. This year, YouTube had tons of their accounts hacked into, and I saw it with my own creators. I did a live stream about it and I talked about it. That's how, and I think I talked about it last year. So it hasn't just been this year, it's been last year and the year before that and the year before that and also the year after this one and the year after this one. They have so many password leaks, data breaches. It's insecure. It is unsafe for you to upload your information onto YouTube just so that you can verify your age, just so that you can watch that one YouTube video that your favorite creator uploaded. If your favorite creator has not talked about this, maybe it's not worth it to be watching that YouTube video, right? Those are just my 2 cents. But anyway, um, it's funny because I was talking about censorship and on this podcast, and I was editing the transcript for that podcast episode about a month ago, and I just kept reading it over, and I just kept thinking, like, man, have we really fallen down a slippery slope? because in that podcast episode, me and my friend Rin, we were saying, oh, this is not going to happen in the United States. This is not going to happen in the United States. And lo and behold, it's happening in the United States. So, yeah. But anyway, that is all that I have to talk about today. Yeah, if you watched this all the way through, thank you for watching. And please remember, I will have the petition and the email linked down below so that you can email YouTube and so that you can sign the petition. It doesn't matter where you are, just sign the petition. It is almost at, I want to say 100,000 likes. No, not 100,000 signatures. It is almost at 100,000 signatures. And the more people that are talking about it, the more signatures that it's going to get, and the higher the chance that this AI verification thing fails, and the higher the chance that less people will upload their IDs or their credit cards to verify their age. So that is my goal with this live stream. But anyway, thank you for watching. And I will return hopefully next week. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.